Babb is with us to discuss exactly what wasn't there that caused all of this. Dani, it's good of you to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
No mortgage help, I guess, is one consideration, right? Explain that for us.
Yeah, that is one consideration. There's no flat-out dollars being given to homeowners, but Shep, there are a lot of people that have seemed to skip over Section 109 of this particular bill, and I don't think that our legislature is doing a very good job of promoting it. It uses the government's quote-unquote power in owning these assets as if your loan was closed prior to March 18th of this year to modify the loan. That means reducing principal, reducing interest rate, increasing the terms, lowering the payment, and so on through the existing HOPE program that will extend to multifamily housing, which is something new. It may include investors. That was not spelled out very clearly.
All right. What else were sticking points there today for regular folks that maybe people don't understand?
Well, I think a lot of people really believe that this was something that we were just giving money to these organizations and not getting something in return. It's very clear that these assets are valuable. Now, I think one big problem is we don't know how to value them. And it's actually written in the bill that the assets will be purchased for a price, but it doesn't say how that price is going to be determined.
So people understand why it is. You know, if you were to think about an individual mortgage, it would be a very easy thing to come up with some sort of value for an individual mortgage. But what's happened here is the people who gave the mortgages bundle them together as a mortgage security. So let's say, for purposes of discussion, you have one mortgage which becomes 1,000 mortgages, all bundled up and then sold off as one thing called a mortgage security. So within this bundle, there is a bunch of good stuff, 80–90% of it probably good. We don't know for sure, but that's probably a good estimate to hear from the experts. Then there's another 5 or 10% that's kind of and then there's 5 or 10% that just, you know, forget it. So, but you can't get in there and individually value those things. It's certainly not in the short amount of time that's been made available. So there's no real way to know except to guess. And it's guessing that got us here in the first place, right, Dani?
It is, that's part of it, but statisticians, we know that 95% of people in the prime category are paying on time and about 86% of subprime are paying on time. So if we can figure out how many are subprime and how many are prime, we can at least guesstimate in terms of how many people are going to pay back the mortgage. What we don't know is what the new value of those homes are. And one thing I think that was a big problem in this bill is that it put the government, as soon as they brought money into a specific company, they became what we would call in the mortgage industry the first lien holder position. That's going to discourage other private money from coming into that business. I think that's really a big problem. If these companies are forced to always rely on the government, the taxpayers, you and I, for money to buy these securities, if there's no private money, and taking a second lien holder position isn't something that people want to do.
Dani Babb, good of you. Thank you. This just in from John in Lafayette, Louisiana.